everyone, and welcome to the Best of 3 Call of Duty Esports podcast. I'm your host, Josh. SalvationsElite to my right is Bash underscore Bo3, and to our farthest right, per usual, is Rex, Shady, Nero. And guys, we have a rebrand. We're looking good out here. We're looking with the fresh graphics, things you absolutely love to see. And we have a ton to talk about today. Not only do we have to break down this last weekend, we got to talk about the craziness that happened, some rookie debuts. We also have the two biggest potential roster changes, pretty big surprise roster changes of the year so far with Temp and MajorManiak out of here. But before we get any of that, not only that, but COD 2021 leaks and a lot more. Before we get any of that, guys, I've got to ask, what's going on?
Well, Josh, I am feeling nice. Real nice.
Wow, dude.
It's been a phenomenal week over here. I couldn't be happier. I am feeling like a sunflower who's just bloomed and spring is just now starting to begin. And I'm seeing hummingbirds flying around. And I'm like, this is home. I'm just basking in it, really.
Oh, my word. Things you love to see. That's absolutely fantastic. Sam, how you doing?
Man, I want what Shady's having.
Yeah, that is some
nice vibes.
Pure happiness, man. Some pure
vibes.
Happiness. The vibes are high.
Yeah.
It's good. But, man, we have a ton to talk about today. And, of course, you can listen on Apple Podcasts. You can listen on Spotify. You can watch on YouTube. You can drop a review on Apple Podcasts. And you can drop a comment on YouTube. But, the 5-star reviews is what we love here on Apple Podcasts. And today we got one from Sam's Undying Love for Formal. Straight 5-star podcast. The best Call of Duty podcast out there. I look forward to watching on YouTube every Tuesday. But I had to come over to Apple Podcasts to rate it 5 stars. Keep up the great work, boys, and stay horny for me.
Ooh, always.
Have we not heard that?
H4F, baby.
I thought for sure we've heard that review.
If we already read that one, shout out back-to-backs there. Yeah. Things you love to see.
It was that good.
That was just that good of a review.
Just a pleasant review.
But we haven't had a review in 2 weeks, so we had to go check to see if we missed one. I think that's the one we missed. But drop a review on Apple Podcasts because we might read it in the upcoming few weeks. But yeah, we got a lot to get into. We're going to do no quick question today because we're going to have a lot to get into when it comes to the news and predictions and everything else. So without further ado, let's get right in to the news of the week. The Call of Duty News of the Week. Call of Duty news of the week. And definitely a spicy one.
It was a spicy Monday.
It was a real spicy Monday.
Holy
I mean,
cow.
my goodness. Let's start off with the lesser spice. We got to ease into the spice this week. We got to start off
with like a little bit like a banana pepper, maybe.
A little banana pepper, and ease our way in. So let's talk COD 2021 off the rip here. So a drop came through here from Modern Warzone, who's kind of been the most, one of the 3 or 4 most accurate leakers for COD news the past year or two, and he said exclusive COD 2021 is set during World War II, and its title is Call of Duty World War II Vanguard. They said that it might be like a faux title though, like one that they're just kind of covering as the name right now. But they also said that they are very confident that some of this stuff happens in the 50s. Some of the scenes happen in the 50s, so they're not sure exactly if it's a real timeline. It could be fictional history. So, there's some chance, some workarounds here, like why we have trophy systems and Semtex grenades in COD Cold War.
Yes.
Maybe there's something we can work with.
Yeah.
Rex, I see you sifting around over there. What are your thoughts on COD World War II Vanguard in COD 2021? Built by Sledgehammer.
Here's the thing. I always have my hesitancies about going into the past. Even going into Cold War, I was like, oh no. But Cold War ended up being good. So, my hesitancies were wrong. Cold War is pretty, I like the game a lot, actually. It's really fun. And they kept it fresh. Now, we have Sledgehammer doing this one. We had Treyarch on this one, so, higher chance to be better. Sledgehammer, World War II, good competitively, but man, the colors of it, and just
But you love
it gets older and older.
Warfare.
Advanced Warfare was great. You're right. But it also that was the first time we saw jetpacks. So that was already just going to be super fresh no matter what, right?
Yeah.
But Oh man, I hope they keep Semtexes. I hope we have trophies. I just hope it's good. But I'm worried.
Same.
I'm worried.
Same.
Sledgehammer's not known for the colors.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I just don't get the thing is that the going back in time isn't inherently bad. It's just the way developers seem to vision
Going back in
going
time.
back is just so weird. But again, World War II's core was phenomenal.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the game.
The maps were solid.
Competitively, it was fun. The thing is they need to get multiplayer right, which I don't even know if they need to do that now, because if they just bring Warzone over to that too, it's going to still have people playing it. But the problem with World War II was the pubs were just unbearable to play.
So
you could not play pubs on World War II.
I personally love
Did
pubs.
you really?
I've played more pubs in World War II than I have in Black and Cold War.
You're crazy. Black Ops Cold
I
War
just
pubs,
could
I
not
actually
play
kind
that.
of enjoy them. Even those skill-based matchmaking, whatever. Cold War is I don't know. I feel good going into it. It's always feels fresh. In World War II, I didn't feel that way.
What I really respect about Sledgehammer is their willingness to try new things. Versus Treyarch, who reinvents the wheel, why we have a new pick 10 system.
Mhm.
I mean, Sledgehammer did the same thing, I guess, but it feels like Treyarch has only been revamping things that were already working well. Where Sledgehammer's done a cool job of trying different, bringing in the war game mode in World War II, which I actually really, really enjoyed.
The whole hub thing.
The whole headquarters.
cool.
The whole headquarters
Oh,
was
so
sick.
cool.
The 1v1s in the headquarters was cool. They
That
had
was
the
cool.
firing range there, which was great.
Yeah.
And how they innovated the whole headquarters thing into it. And then Sledgehammer really, in Advanced Warfare, they really reinvented the wheel when it came to DLC and how you got DLC. It was really innovative at the time.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I guess I'm staying optimistic with it because I think I really respect Sledgehammer as a developer. Competitively, obviously World War II had its problems at launch. I mean, that's no lie. I mean, the frustrations were there. And during the year, I mean, that's when Rambo was there, and so I guess I had a little bit more faith at the time because Rambo was there that competitive would work out, and their league play ended up being solid and everything, but
Kind of. I mean, it's the best we've had, but it's
solid.
Yeah, I don't think it was solid by any means.
It was solid,
you go
but not
into
great.
a game and there's
You good
more
with it?
levers than ever. But but COD is also bigger than World War II was. So there's more to people playing. But then you'd be a platinum, and then somehow 2 bronze players end up on your team. And you're like, what is going on here?
Yeah, no, for sure. There was matchmaking problems for sure.
Real bad. And also, the maps competitively were fine, but I still didn't like them.
I mean,
they
London
weren't
Docks,
fun.
Ardennes Forest were really fun. Those two were fun.
London Docks was fun, but in Ardennes Forest was also fun. But I don't know, it was missing that flash, that excitement.
Yes,
to it.
I do agree. I mean, Saint Marie Dumont had some interesting plays.
Saint Marie Dumont. Yeah. Let's not forget too, World War II made CTF fun again.
It did.
It did.
Yes,
I enjoyed
true.
CTF on that game.
We might get CTF again.
I truly
which would
did
be
enjoy
nice.
CTF in that game. I agree. Yeah, that'll be interesting. I mean, I think it does higher the chances of CTF being the third game mode again, which is interesting.
If you do it right.
Yeah, no, for sure. It was definitely great. So we'll see. I don't know. There's a lot of pros and cons to it. I'm thinking the competitive scene as a whole, people are probably less excited about it than excited about it. But I don't know. We'll see. I'm definitely personally, I'm very optimistic and looking forward to it a lot. I mean, at the end of the day, like we always say, we'll take a flaming pile of crap if it has a good league play at launch, which is literally all that matters.
True.
So it is pretty
also,
crazy.
good campaign. That's my 2 cents.
I mean, really?
They got to keep up the campaigns that
Really?
they've been
I
putting out.
just
Modern
could not
Warfare's
care
campaign
less.
was amazing. Cold War's campaign, amazing. They gotta keep that standard there.
I haven't played a campaign since COD Ghosts.
Dude, you've got to play these new ones. They are so fun. Okay, next topic.
Gotta try it.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, that's basically it. I mean, at the end of the day, score streaks are also pretty interesting to me. They had really fun score streaks in World War II competitively, so I'm looking forward to it. We'll see. All right, let's talk Jimbo for a second, because that was crazy.
That was weird.
Basically, this whole thing happened where they were in an end of a scrim or eights lobby. I'm not sure if it was a scrim or an eights lobby, but they were in game, and basically Jimbo said if you keep talking like that, you're gonna get shot in the head or something along those lines. Weird. And ended up getting suspended for 3 months for threatening players. So pretty crazy. So Jimbo's out of the challenger scene for a while, which is pretty insane. I don't know. Any thoughts there? Just pretty crazy.
I mean,
That's tough.
It's
Both
just
ways.
too much there, man. pretty much got to know, like, you're streaming it and, teammates are streaming it. You're pretty much, whenever you're just always going to be hurt at some point. So
did you see his response?
I didn't see his response.
He was basically like, English wasn't my first language originally, and it was online. And he said that if you keep talking like that, you'll end up getting shot in the head or something if you're talking like that outside, like in the real world, you get shot in the head. It wasn't like I was threatening you. It was more like, this is what would happen in the real world if you talked like that. Like,
still kind of borderline.
That's just
for sure.
Like, yeah, like I've heard people say that to me.
You gotta be self-aware.
And like, it's just like, it's just, it's how the gamer talk kind of used to be, but it's still, it's too much nowadays.
Right. It's definitely more like if he was trying to say like, boy, if you keep talking like that, if you talk like that to someone in real life, you're gonna get destroyed. But like, whatever. But I don't know. It definitely is a weird situation. 3 months feels a little heavy though. To be honest, like 3 months feels a little extreme because that's literally ending your whole season. That's quite literally ending your season.
Well, how did Kismet? Like, I feel like it makes sense to like how it was against Kismet, right? Said it to Kismet.
Yeah. And like Kismet was like, whoa.
Kismet's response to that, how did Kismet?
True.
If Kismet was cool, like maybe Kismet really didn't was really put off by that, then then we probably shouldn't have said it. You didn't have that sort of rapport. You didn't have anything like that.
That's
too
true.
Far. So it depends how Kismet took it too.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't think it ever came out.
It didn't really look like Kismet took it too personally or too threatening.
Did he say anything?
I don't know. He was just like, what did he say? Like in the clip at least, he was like, what did he say? And they were like, I think he said they're gonna shoot you in the head.
I know. It was really weird. I was like,
wow.
Holy.
Yeah, I don't know. It's definitely not a good situation though. Other news inside the Challenger stuff we'll talk about a little bit here. Wuskin says is still wanting to play in the EU Challenger scene. And again, that was a whole weird situation with like them talking like, why weren't you playing in the EU Challenger scene? Or like people really like ripping on Wuskins for not playing in the Challenger scene originally. Definitely a little weird situation like that. What are your thoughts on Wuskin's like stock moving forward?
Well, it's because like Parasite was ripping.
It was Parasite. It was
somewhat
Parasite.
Ripping into him about.
He
being
definitely
like,
was.
He was like, you say you want to go pro, but you're not even playing in the Challengers and yada yada. And maybe people are kind of saying that's what kind of kicked Wuskin's gear. Like, okay, like he's gonna go do Challengers. Which, if he does want to be pro and not a content creator, that's kind of what you got to do.
Yeah. What are your thoughts? Like, if let's say we have 4 expansion teams next year, and at least one of them are EU.
Yeah.
Does he get picked up?
Depends how he does in Challengers.
You think?
I think if he wasn't playing Challengers this year, I don't think he's getting picked up by a squad. I think he's joining now, which he saves himself at least for next year. If he plays well and can do something, then he has a good shot, I think.
It's such a hard debate, like stock. It is. Stock versus
like brand versus like competing.
Exactly. Like, how much weight do you think is like currently like? I don't know, because like we'll talk about more of this later on, but like we're seeing very talented people get picked up from the AM scene
for sure.
But there is this balance of like raw talent versus like branding and versus like
in one end, like Standy is like the most like popular AM player that's yet to be a pro. Like no, for sure.
So I feel like it's really like a team decision. Like, what do they want to do? Like, do they want to go back on like all of Wuskin's achievements of like playing really well? And again, like Modern Warfare season was really, really good.
And he has a good brand. He has content. People like him with Warzone and everything.
Yeah. So to me, it's like, it's not out of the ballpark for him to get picked up if he like plays.
Like, let's say there was like a Madrid team or something like that. Yeah.
Something. But yeah, it's hard because I feel like it's a fine balance, but I feel like it wouldn't hurt him to try to play in Challengers and like try to make a name for himself either.
Yeah, it's tough. It's definitely a tough place to be in because it's like you want to make that brand. You want to. Like Warzone, you can make a lot of money playing in Warzone right now too, and he's pretty dang good. It's like, it is. I can see the argument on both sides. It's actually really, really interesting.
Yeah.
I'm not. If you win in Challengers, obviously, like if you're winning consistently in Challengers, then it proves that like. That you're great. But if you lose and if you're not winning in Challengers, that might hurt you Like you are taking a risk by playing in challengers.
Mhm.
If you're losing in challengers, you probably shouldn't be in the pro league. Like,
but if you never play in challengers, they won't know that.
well,
Yeah,
if you never
that's
play,
true. That's true.
Because here's the thing: you got expansion teams coming up. Those expansion teams have to either choose Wuskins to be their staple guy, or other like what are the pros?
A full squad, or like whoever
Mhm.
wins EU champs.
They're only going to pick
whatever.
up full squads of challengers, or they're going to find challengers players to be their staple guy. Because who else is out there?
Yeah, I
You
get
got
that.
Of NA players at least. So it's like, who's gonna go and snag Wuskins? And so I think he has to play in challengers his best bet, honestly.
But then
and I don't think he'll do bad in challengers.
Who does he team with though in challengers? He's kind of late in the game right now too.
It is weird, but I'm sure
But
someone,
he's
someone will pick him
Wuskins.
up. He's
Challengers,
Wuskin, yeah.
he can
Somebody will
always
pick him
make a
up.
name. John
for
was
sure.
gone for a while, and Wuskins can do the same thing. Like,
Yeah, 100%. For sure. Yeah, that's really, really interesting.
True.
I guess I was going to talk about the major weapon tuning with the COD 2021 stuff, but they were teasing the potential, weapon tuning, some sort of meta shifting type weapon tune, coming here at the end of season or in the middle of season 2.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It seems
Snipers?
unlikely. I saw some people talking about potential leaks that they weren't going to be touching any of the competitive guns, but I don't know. Treyarch was teasing it. It's like, yeah, like, a sniper nerf. I mean, it would be nice to see the XM4 nerfed. It'd be nice to see all the DLC guns nerfed, the LC10 or whatever. And
I think definitely the DLC guns will.
yeah, they'll get nerfed for sure. The LC10 is literally unbelievable. It is so good. It is insane. And I don't know. It's like, bro, it's just insane. Could you? I mean, if they nerf like the 74U, or it could really change. If they nerf the Krig, then you become a sole, QBZ type meta. It'd be really interesting. I don't know. There's a lot of potential things. Any thoughts there? I mean, we don't really know much besides the potential rumors.
Yeah, I would love snipers to come back, man.
Same.
This is going to be the update. Like, my prediction is this is going to be the update that brings snipers back.
It's just so weird.
That's their plan with it, at least. We'll see.
Because
what
they haven't
pros
banned
do,
they haven't banned snipers yet in, like, I don't know. There's such a weird debate.
I know.
Because it's like, how is it not out yet? If the pros aren't using it, how will we not have these things out yet in league play? It's so insane. And I can get the whole GA debate, but it pisses me off.
Yeah, but like, it's so weird to not have a sniper in Call of Duty. Like, watching competitive play,
It feels wrong.
It feels so wrong. Like,
yeah,
going from like Sims, like insane, like Black Ops 4 sniper, and
oh yeah,
so many cool clips.
Talk about Wuskins. I mean, last year with
Exactly.
Wuskin, sniping was
Yeah.
sick. I mean, so many insane plays on Piccadilly and stuff.
So,
but yeah, like this year, sniping was just too dang good. It was just too good. And so that was just a big problem. We'll see.
unfortunate.
Yeah, absolutely.
this will bring it back. I have faith. This is bringing back snipers.
Let's hope so. Other challengers information. I guess we can talk a little bit of Cup 9 before we get into some of the juicy stuff. Obviously, when it comes to like a lot of the things, the Elite Series is still underway. A 4-way tie for first inside the NA side of things. Pretty crazy. Thoughts on challengers and everything going on in the Elite Series right now?
Yeah, that's pretty incredible. And like pretty much they've all like lost to each other. Like,
It's a little like,
it's weird. So like
around the rosy.
Built by Gamers lost to E-Star. E-Star lost to Sublines Academy. Sublines Academy lost to Fantastic Four, and Fantastic Four lost to E-Star. So it's just like this weird, like,
That's crazy.
pretty crazy thing.
Circle
and, like,
of death.
Yeah, and so there's 4 teams, 3-1 right now. So like that's really cool to see like so much competition though.
Oh yeah,
Like-
that's awesome.
That's sick. And then of course, me personally, I'm rooting for John's team E-Star, which is pretty cool. But like seeing all these guys compete, and like I will say, I wish I had more time to pay more attention to the Elite Series and the Challengers.
100%.
But like we were talking before, like it's so hard. Like in the CDL, there's so many
With how many
insane
days
storylines,
so many days of COD
so many
right
days
now.
of COD. It's like holy cow. So I'm struggling with trying to keep up personally, which is great that we have people like shipped in the community and that kind of thing to do that. But
Oh, for sure.
man, there's a lot of COD this year. There's just a lot.
There is.
It's a
COD.
lot. Yeah, well, especially since they started the league like on Thursdays now, where it's just like it's hard. I mean, the big ones that now maybe we'll give it more attention is like now we have like Temp over in West Star,
I know.
Parasite in West Star.
I mean, probably MajorManiak soon.
Maybe, I mean, I don't know, because they're only switching people out who get moved to the pro league. Like you're gonna move Zaptius, who I think is the person who owns West Star right now.
No, for sure.
Glowfrosty, like, how do you kick those guys out, when they are the ones who brought Parasite and Temp in?
Oh, yeah. I guess there's mean at some point MajorManiak's probably have to play in the AM scene. And so that's crazy.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, 100%. It's actually really interesting. Yeah, the EU scene's been a complete bloodbath too. So it's been a blast, like, checking in. It's nice whenever I'm like, yo, what's going on right now? And I hop in and I'm like, Challengers is up.
Yeah.
Let's go. Yeah, no, it's great. Dr. Disrespect posted a little tease.
Jeez.
There's basically a graph round in the background of one of his streams where it was like a to-do list.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things on the to-do list was announce CDL rosters or CDL team.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's really funny. I mean, it's probably a troll, right?
Yeah.
It's probably a troll.
But it would be so, like, could you imagine, like, the content around that, though? Like, a Dr. Disrespect team? Oh, my word.
In a league with, like, Hex and Nate.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
It'd be incredible.
That's what the COD League needs. I mean, it's so on brand. It's literally so on brand.
Oh, yeah. Like, him and, like, Tim the Tap Man team up on a CDL team. Like, could you imagine?
Could you imagine?
Like,
could you imagine?
Oh, gosh. Like, and, like, that's what, it brings so many viewers. Like, I think it was Slasher, not the pro player, but the Rod
esports reporter,
esports guy said, like, basically, if you're an esport and not utilizing co-streaming with, like, content creators, you're doing it wrong, which is so true. Like,
because it was Valorant had like 300,000 co-stream views going.
It's like it's so true. Like, you're like, the mass majority of audiences are following, like, single big streamers.
It makes no sense.
Why would you not want them to watch it with you? Like,
how haven't we paid YouTubers who literally post gameplays in multiplayer to watch the COD League?
Absolutely.
On their streams, or like make a video with, it's just insane. It makes no sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it truly doesn't make any sense. So I agree. It'd be lit. I would love to see Doc. What city would you want Doc's franchise to be in, Rex?
I mean, where's he based right now? I don't even know. California,
He's
right?
in Cali. He's in Cali area, but I don't know.
Where's he from originally?
San Diego could work. I could see San Diego.
San Diego would be pretty cool. Maybe like
Vegas?
a Vegas team.
I could see Vegas.
That'd be pretty cool.
Kind of edgy.
Vegas would be
cool
very
team.
on brand, I feel like.
Yeah, I think so too. Kind of like the edgier team, you know?
Definitely.
100%.
Their social media would be so good. Like, Disrespect would get such a good
because
social
Vegas
team.
is so flashy. Like, it's just so dark. Like, speed, momentum,
violence.
Gotta be the one.
Speed,
Vegas
momentum.
has gotta be the one.
Yeah, I think so.
That would be so sick.
That'd be awesome. That would be so fun. But that'd be. Keep your eye on that one, because who knows? It's a meme until it's not with Doc.
True.
You know,
True.
It really is. So you never know. All right. Last thing before we talk spiciness, Activision, the whole firings and hirings stuff that went on was pretty crazy.
Me so mad.
They fired 50
people,
employees, and then 2 days later, their CEO was announced that he's going to get a $200 million bonus at the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
What?
That doesn't look too great.
Real. So a handful of esports people got fired and lost their jobs, and it's 3 or 4% of their total workforce or something at Activision. Thoughts on that?
Yeah,
Activision is full of savages. I feel like there's always news at least once a year about how Activision or Blizzard are firing people, but then you look and you're like, they don't seem to be doing that bad.
Oh no!
But they keep they're realizing, we got online. Any way that they can cut costs and still be ahead is what they're gonna do. It feels like to me,
literally,
and it's that's kind of scummy, but it's also very savage. And I guess you're running
I mean, they are legit all about money. And we can have this debate, obviously, but obviously, I'm sure the investors are super happy that they're just gung ho profit over everything. But
I guess
this is CDL Intel. He
what douchebags.
Well, yeah, no, yeah, it's just horrible. He basically highlighted this quote from the article, I think, but basically it says, he noted that the division which runs the Overwatch League and Call of Duty League is planning for a future where its business will look different and
we need to talk about that.
Less dependent on live events. That is not what you want to hear.
What does that even mean?
I mean, it's going to be League is going to be online.
League is going to be online. Tournaments are in person.
and then or like we'll have
like one
the
event a
majors
year.
will be LANs, and then we'll have still
that's
two
what it'll
online
be. That's
and then
100% what
one
it'll be.
LAN.
Next year,
They're not going to go totally off LAN because that would kill what they're trying to do.
Next year we would have
sure.
this exact format.
And then just champs.
No, all the majors are on LAN.
Oh, I
but
see what you're
all
saying.
of the league matches are online.
I don't like that though.
Which is what BO3 was, ironically.
I know.
like wow.
We're like stepping
Cool.
back in time.
We're
bro.
back in 2016 again.
It's just, I don't know, man.
I mean, like, again, there's ways. I mean, like, online is fine, but it's like, why can't we do what MLG did? I mean, all the pros are already in Dallas anyway.
Yeah.
It's like, it's so dumb. It's like you're literally ruining the point of what, like, doing the city-based teams was in the first place.
Seriously. Like, what's the point of having these city-based franchises and then not even utilizing them?
Yeah, hosting events. Makes no sense. So,
well,
like,
that's what the majors will be.
I mean, yeah, but then you only have 4 or 5 a year, so
Yeah,
then I guess every 4
you
years
can't
you
get
host
12.
an event or something if there's 20 teams.
Yeah, I mean, here, devil's advocate here. The players have already kind of complained about how, like, there's before, remember when it was going to be all LAN?
No, for sure.
Like, I can't even imagine doing Modern Warfare all LAN because, like, it would have just been travel, and, like, nothing else. It'd be even hard to get practice in. So, if you're going to, like, and so, in a way, it makes sense to kind of do, like, the 2 onlines LAN, then 2 onlines and LANs, and then, like, like, the major, just because even having the players be able to practice to play at the highest level, it'd be hard to keep up with that sort of schedule if they kept it how they were going to do it.
But the CWL did it. Like, I mean, the CWL, who had, half the funding of the COD League, was able to do it. I mean,
and it was all right.
And it was great. I mean, obviously there wasn't any fans there, for the league matches, but it was in person. That's all we really need. I mean, I think they need to do it almost exactly how the CWL did it. In that sense, is like you have your league matches, in these spots. I think the biggest problem with the league matches with the CWL was that they didn't mean enough. Like the seeding wasn't, for pro points wasn't really that valuable.
Yeah.
I think it's more valuable now than it used to be, which is good.
For sure.
But yeah, I just feel like in that sense, it's like we need these to be on LAN. I don't want to watch, 60% of the COD matches through the year where after the map, you see the guys get up on their little webcams like, hey, yeah, woo.
Yeah. I mean, all the big ones will be on LAN, no doubt. Like, no doubt.
No, for sure. But I just feel like, I mean, it doesn't, like on a scale of like, this absolutely sucks to this, I don't mind this at all. Like, where are you at with it then? Like, I would be like, I'm like at like a 6 out of 10 of disappointed, like not pissed. I mean,
for like this current.
No. Like for like if next year we have this same format, but it's the league matches are on LAN or online.
I thought it could be a step forward from obviously this year and last year.
For sure.
But like if that's where they're planning on like staying.
On a scale of 1 to 10 of how outraged would you be if that was like their actual plan?
I'd be like a 7 or 8 outraged.
Okay. That's
pretty angry.
You're almost getting to like talking at like a high voice.
Almost like inflecting.
Whoa, calm down.
Almost.
Rex?
I mean, I'm okay. I'm very okay with it if it's kind of how I'm thinking it'll go, where it's like you have like your league matches online and then you have a major.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, if you do
5 or 6
every single thing is LAN, then it's going to be like CS where it's so diluted with just LAN events all the time. Quality of life of players, which they can argue like traveling like that is going to be super, super tough.
I mean, I do agree that like last year, sorry to cut you off, but like the form of last year was a little insane.
We got lucky last year that it went online almost.
I wouldn't know, but maybe
the players got lucky.
The players got lucky. Yes.
That's what I mean. Not us. Like, we always want LAN. Like, there's no doubt about that. But
I just feel
think
like
overall,
the players would rather play on LAN, though.
Well, for sure. The traveling is like the cost of playing on LAN.
Like,
for a player.
I don't know.
Obviously, online was an absolute tragedy last year, for sure. I get that. So that is tough. So, wait, so where are you at with it? So, if that was the case, and they're playing online, where's your, out of 1 to 10, where are you at? Of anger.
3, I guess.
Okay.
It doesn't bother me.
All right, that's fine. All righty, let's move on to the hot topics before we get into our predictions for today. We gotta talk Temp. We gotta talk MajorManiak. Obviously, if you guys haven't seen the news yet, podcast listeners, all y'all out there, it's been a wild day. Like we said, not only the leaks and everything else, but 2 players benched today. Temp officially benched by 100T, and in comes Venom. Absolutely insane. Wester's Slayer, absolute SMG unit, joining the squad. Thoughts on this? What's your initial reaction? Sam, what's your initial reaction to Temp getting benched and Venom joining the squad?
I think this is potentially really good. Potentially.
Okay.
I do remember, from our previous talks with Shift, he was pretty high on Venom
For sure. Which makes sense.
Oh, absolutely. So that's really cool. And basically, what in the video, if I remember correctly, TJ is now moving to second AR.
Yeah. So there's some big shifts in them in their strats here. So yeah,
and then Kenny's
going into the second AR, the flex, and then Kenny's going to go to main SMG.
So that I am very excited to see what Kenny can do, but then also how TJ plays that role.
For sure.
It is kind of interesting. I don't know. I guess I haven't really seen him much in that role.
Definitely not.
If much at all. So I don't know. I think this could, again, we have seen this kind of breath of life come from players coming in and, maybe some role changes. So
yeah,
I think this helps Thieves. I would say if I had to bet money on it, or percentage, I think greater than 50%, this helps Thieves.
Don't get too crazy here.
I know.
Rex, thoughts?
I think it helps Thieves in the sense that you are bringing in this new, young, passionate Am. First time there, he's going to be gunning to be getting these wins. And, it's always nice to have somebody there who's always going to be a hype man, right? And so I think or Venom's going to be that guy who can, kind of get them into a honeymoon period sort of thing where, everyone's just kind of more happy. It's they feel like they made a change because I feel like Thieves were not a bad team, even with Temp. I don't even think Temp was that bad.
Definitely
I think
not.
Just the team coordination was not there, and just the way they were playing together just wasn't right. I don't know if that'll be fixed with Venom coming in, but at least with Venom there, you're going to feel more positive, which in turn is going to upgrade that gameplay, and they might become better because of that. But I really don't think Temp was not having the best KD.
He was playing well,
he was getting the right kills though.
Yeah,
he was getting the right kills. He was making good plays. I don't know.
This was kind of our convo that we were having the first time that the rumor even happened. Was okay, how is this going to work with the personalities on this team, and how are they going to play in game? They made some banger YouTube videos, that's for sure, and they were comedy. I'll give them that. Also, side note, I had the Guess Who Pro Edition idea in my Google Doc. Bro, what are the odds of that? I had
just do it anyways, man.
I know, insane. But I had no one to play. It was just how are we gonna play this? I guess we could have, in theory, played it, but that'd been tough.
Hurt us, but right.
it would have been tough to do.
Anyways,
long story short, how is that gonna work personality wise with those guys? And we did talk about how Slasher's kind of in that sense for Rex, for Clay, you want to have those guys that you can kind of boss around and fall in line with how Slasher sees the game. And Temp's kind of got his own way to play. And so that was the whole dynamic, was okay, is that going to work? And obviously something just didn't click, and they did feel like they needed.
TJ has his own way to play too, though.
He does, for sure.
I think Kenny is very moldable as a player. I think Kenny can fit into a lot of rosters.
Yeah.
I think he's just that type of player. TJ, on the other hand, he thinks he's TJ, and he is TJ exclusively. But that also can be a problem where how much can he fit into other teams?
Well, he has a really unique. He's always had a unique play style and been an inconsistent player. But when he's playing great, he plays great. Yeah. And that's kind of been a thing. So maybe the AR role will be really interesting for him to kind of give him a new taste on how to play. And I could see this really helping them. Venom, at the end of the day, if Venom ends up being individually just that good, and there's a world where that's the case, then this obviously makes him a lot better, significantly better. If Temp was a middle of the road type of slaying flex, and then Tej can still be that middle of the road slaying flex, and then in comes Venom replacing Tej, and now they suddenly have a legit top 5-10 slayer, a really good main SMG, then they're gonna be great. So That's where I'm interested. I mean, so what are the odds here? I mean, they're 5th in the CWL standings or the CDL standings right now, which, I mean, pretty crazy for a team in 5th place to make a roster change.
Yeah.
I mean, that has yet to happen in the CDL.
Yeah.
Specifically. So, moving forward, what are your thoughts with them, in the next few weeks? Do you have high expectations for them? Where you at, Rex?
I think they'll get better. I think this could be like the next event. They're just going to be playing a lot better. I wonder how maintain is going to be. I'm really curious about TJ. What kind of plays is he going to be making in this new role? Because AR is more of kind of a brainy role. So we'll see.
No,
I don't see TJ as this crazy brainy player.
Right. Yeah. My thing is like generally, right now, I was talking about this in the video today. Like the format that we've seen working so far is, with FaZe and Optic, is that you've got the slower main AR, RCD's formal. Then you've got the slaying SMG, Celium Dashy. Then you've got the more support player SMG, like Abizi and Envoy. And then you have the slaying SMGs, Scump and Simp. Where like right now with 100T, you had the slow main AR, but then you really didn't have like the great slaying, flex, flex, AR with like, Temp was okay, but he's not always naturally that. And now you're again not having like a natural AR slayer there. So we'll see. Yeah. That is interesting to me. And then you need to have Kenny be very willing to play, main SMG with Venom, and then one of them has to slip into more of that like, giving role when it comes to like entry and playing support and doing those types of things. So
I have faith in Kenny in that regard. I mean, I think Kenny is a player that can, like I said, I think he can mold into anything, and I think he can play with pretty much anyone.
So if one of those two has to come into fruition there, so it'll be interesting. That's what I'll have definitely my eye on, is how those roles end up playing out with which guy ends up being the kind of lead slayer for them in the SMG side. Is it Kenny or is it Venom, and how does that play out?
Yeah.
Obviously, like we talk about like a BZ being the support player, but like he can slay just as good as Stimp. It's just that one of them has to go first at some point, and so then it ends up being a BZ more often than not.
Definitely.
So that's just the thing. So we'll see. It is really, really interesting, and they do play London first, so that'll be very interesting.
And then FaZe.
So we're gonna have a really
we're gonna see a Venom v Paul.
Yeah, Venom v Paul map 1, which is really fun.
That'd be cool.
And so we're going to get like both sides of the spectrum, kind of like a team that, they should be able to beat, but maybe not. London's been good, obviously. And then FaZe. So we're going to see a full-on test here for 100T really quick. So it'll be fun for sure. All right, let's talk about the Rokkr for a second. My goodness. So this was interesting. They got 3-0'd twice on the weekend, and we were like, okay, this is tough. They lost 2 round 11s in S&D. Devastating.
That hurts.
In 2 round 11s when they get 3-0'd both times. Like that's tough. And not only that, but they were up 5-2 in one of the S&D. Like it was bad. And there were some legit problems. So before we even talk about Standy, which is very fun, Standy was brought in replacing MajorManiak.
Yeah.
Do you believe, what was the problem in your guys' heads for the Rokkr? Sam?
I think I've said it before, but going into the season, I expected Priesta to be the star on this team. And I think they did too. I think they built this around Priesta attach.
Yeah.
Kind of
the
thing.
SMG duo finding its
exactly.
place. Yeah.
And then when that wasn't happening, like pretty much attach was shining. Priesta was kind of just playing OBJ, but like he wasn't even like, he just wasn't performing.
You could tell Priesta wants to use an AR. I mean, that's really what it is. It's truly what it is.
So I am a firm believer that I think Priesta has the ability to bring this team to where it can be. Because I think their ceiling is high. So that was what I thought the problem was, honestly. Now was that it's kind of hard because I don't think that's MajorManiak's fault, but we'll get into that, I guess, more. But just to answer your initial question, I think that was what I was seeing was wrong.
Rex?
It's a tough call. Clearly, the team was not working out. Accuracy and attach have honestly been all right, and it has been Major and Priesta that were the issues. I don't know. I honestly feel like I would have kept MajorManiak
And
instead
dropped
of but just the
Priesta?
way who
Really?
they're picking up and how Major probably couldn't go sub. They're like it. So it was kind of a weird thing to do. But all in all, I think something had to happen. You couldn't keep doing it. You have more faith in Priesta than I do right now. I feel like Priesta's in a very weird place mentally, I guess. I just feel like he's in a weird place with CoD right now.
Well,
and I think
100%. Because, like, I mean, my word. I mean, even last year at points, like, Priesta was good at moments. But then we were looking at the FaZe team, and when they were struggling, Priesta was really struggling. Mm-hmm. It's weird. And like I really thought I was going to rebound this year in a more natural role for him, one where he can play like an entry sub back more similar to what he was doing on in BO4 with 100T. And then this year he's had the chance to do that and it just hasn't worked. It has not worked. And in BO4 he was seen as this incredible what's the specialist called? Ruin player. With the entry grapple and the grav slam. Yeah. And that's why he was known for the grapple grav. Like that's what he was known for. There's been moments where attaches looked awesome. Oh, and you're incredible. Like, wow, like that was an insane clutch or that was an insane play. Generally inside of Search and Destroy. Although there's been some moments in like some respawns where like Attach made some huge clutches. I definitely don't think Attach is the problem. Priest still has a ton of upside as a player. And I look towards MajorManiak and accuracy and it's tough. I would be very torn if I'm between that decision and like whether you want to like try to play a little bit faster, but I think I agree with MajorManiak hitting the bench. I actually think I do because accuracy is a true main AR, and
I don't know, man.
And we saw MajorManiak playing that role last year, but like when you look at this, I mean like when you look at the stats, he didn't have to do much on that team, with FaZe last year to like really be great. So it'll be interesting to see. Does Attach end up being playing a little bit more support entry and doing that type of stuff for Standy, or is it vice versa? That'll be interesting. But I like the move. I think it makes him better overall. What are your thoughts on the Rokkr moving forward then?
I think it's I don't like the move, but I also can't say I dislike it. Like, it
really
just feels like one of the most like that would have been really, really hard for me, to be honest. That would have been really hard. You talk like MajorManiak doesn't have this potential upside either, but I think he does.
As a main SMG?
Not an SMG. Like, probably not
that's
as
what
much
they
as
need.
Priesta
They
going
desperately
SMG.
need a strong main SMG. So I guess if your debate is between Priesta and MajorManiak, then that makes sense. But yeah.
I mean, you could have kept Major, right? And accuracy, and then you just... you could have, again, a route is you take Priesta, bring in Standy, and then you have Attach.
I just get worried about the pace of play. So far, Major has been a pretty slow player still. And like Major was brought in as like this S&D, like he's the S&D guy.
Yeah.
But that hasn't, he's been bad in S&D so far. And so it's like,
it's also a team thing too.
I mean, it's definitely a team thing, 100%. But like, we saw with Major, like we thought that, no matter what, they would be rock solid in S&D and that's where they would be great. And they were at the first.
Yeah.
But when you choke S&Ds like that, it's like, I don't know, bro. I don't know.
Well, then just like not even be good at hardpoint either,
and they're trash at hardpoint.
Like you need to at least be able to win one hardpoint. Like, come on.
So, okay, I'll be interested to see. Which move do you think which move is better for the team? Rokkr, 100T. I would say hands down Rokkr. I think this team, in my head, I am hyped about the Rokkr.
To me, it seems like the Rokkr, you are truly unlocking a player's potential with Priesta. I am pretty high on Priesta. Like, I feel like last year he was put in a weird role where it was hard to get any kills in that team, considering you're playing with the BZ and Simp, and then you have Celium. And so it was like him and Major kind of being that kind of weird.
He was playing full-on support last year.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then he moves on to this team.
Trophy.
Yeah. And something's not working out with this team. I don't know. I thought Priesta has a higher ceiling than Major personally.
As a flex.
But I don't know. So I would say Rokkr too.
Okay.
I mean, Rokkr have, they are way down there, so they really, the only way they can go is pretty much up, right? Like, it's hard to go much further down for them. So I feel like it's got to be Rokkr in that regard. But
okay. All right, that's fine. I mean, my thing is more like it's not about the upside of Priesta as a flex. It's really more about I think Standy might just be that good.
Mm-hmm. He could be.
Maybe.
I have a lot of confidence in Standy versus Venom. Honestly, I really really like Standy as a player, and especially when we just saw him this week. He dominated in the Challengers Cup.
Yeah,
with a new squad again outside of Triumph. And so I don't know, man. I'm really excited about Standy in the CDL. And I'm excited. I'm just really looking forward to seeing how he plays, especially on a team like that where you would have the ability to be that literal main slayer if that's the case. So,
and it'll be good to have fresh eyes too. I think it's always good for a team to have fresh eyes like that.
Especially a guy who's been like grinding in the AM scene the past, few months, and like you got to play so much COD in the AM scene on a competitive level. It's interesting. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm definitely more excited about the Rokkr than I am about 100T overall. But that's also partly because I had more faith in Temp as a player than I did it with MajorManiak right now. And that's part of it too. So, all right, let's move in. We've already been talking for a while and we still got predictions to do.
Yeah.
So without further ado, let's get right into our official predictions. We'll do all of like our breakdown talk and stuff in that as well. So let's get right into it. Let's see who the best in the game is this week. Let's go. Alrighty, who's the best in the game? This is going to be an interesting one. So, a really fun week of matchups, I think, again this week. Where, like, last week, like, I felt like we had quite a few, like, okay, I mean, this should be interesting. We'll see what happens. And it ended up being, like, not as dramatic as the week as most.
No.
Not to mention the production issues in the most dramatic match of the week, which was the Dallas Surge match, where it was literally, like, unwatchable at times. Like, bro, this is the best match of the whole weekend. 2 round 11s. Dallas v. Surge, Surge's resurgence.
Capped at like 10 frames a second.
Capped at 10 FPS, dude. Like, bro, come on, man. But yeah, so since we're already a little bit short on time, we're just gonna kind of do our breakdown stuff in these debates. I think it should be still pretty good.
Yeah.
We'll talk about insight and the debuts from London as well here. So, alrighty, first matchup of the weekend. Paris.
Well, hold on. How did we do last week on predictions?
Oh.
I'm glad you asked. It's great. Yeah, how did we do this last week, Sam?
Well, looks like Rex did the best. Only missed 2.
Oh, what a coincidence that he asked about it.
And a lot of perfect map scores, I'll say that. I got both New York map scores perfect.
And then
that was a bunch of bull.
Then second place you have Bash.
It's so
missing
dumb.
3.
I can't believe this.
You had the third place dude.
The process was so right.
With 4 missed opportunities.
Oh my word, I have to go back and find this. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so I will say I completely overestimated Minnesota. All right, I had Minnesota beating Paris. I felt pretty good about that.
Yeah.
Yikes. Oh, not only that, but we were all wrong about Florida with Seattle.
We were all wrong about Florida.
And yeah, I mean, that was more about Seattle this looking really good, in my opinion. Seattle might have arrived, and we'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, that was tough. I really had a lot. I mean, me and Rex both had a lot of faith in Minnesota and Florida. Obviously, that worked out. Then the Minnesota played Florida, which was interesting. But yeah, and then of course the stupid LA Thieves blowing it versus New York. That actually pissed me off because Rex and I had a bet on that match, and I really thought LA Thieves were gonna win it, and they were up 2-0. They were up 2-0. And they blew it.
You never doubt New York. That's been my motto. Since I figured out that
LA
first week, I was like,
what we have to learn here.
I cannot be doubting them because they always do it.
So dumb. I can't believe it. And so that just pissed me off. I was watching that like, bro, thank goodness we weren't watching that one live.
A little angry there.
Yeah, I was pissed. Just because of the bet. I was really confident in LA Thieves coming through on this one. I was like, oh my word, they're up 2-0. It's a miracle. And then I was like, frick, of course. They reverse swept it.
Yeah.
And now I'm sitting here and I have to make Rex my profile picture for a day.
He gets
and so Rex will tweet
a profile picture of my choosing.
Rex will tweet that out tonight. I will make it happen.
I'll tweet it out tomorrow whenever
tomorrow,
this pod goes
when the
up.
podcast goes live, you'll tweet it out and I'll make it my profile picture when the podcast goes live. So
you gotta say, check out whatever the tweet is, like hashtag new profile picture or whatever it is.
Yeah, I will.
Oh, he totally will.
Yeah. Oh, I will. Trust me. I will. And I also say, yeah, we'll say other things as well. But okay, with that said, let's get into the matchups here. The first matchup is Paris versus Dallas Empire, which is now more interesting than it was before.
True. Extremely interesting match.
Rex, kick us off. Thoughts on Paris versus Dallas?
I want someone to do it.
Someone will.
I don't know, because you're talking the third person here, and I'm not.
like Dallas have been looking weaker,
a little shaky.
Or Seattle looked great.
They're very or you could say, or like they're barely pulling out these wins against teams that you're like, you should be really beating them way more.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
what happens
it is
when
now
they go
a
against
trend.
an Optic? What happens when they go against a FaZe? Like they're gonna get rolled.
I mean, maybe
like
not.
I'm maybe not. Like it's hard to tell with them because I wonder if it's just a mental thing because. Do they only play to the level of their opponent?
I mean, that's the thing. Like,
or is it something deeper?
Really, is this an overreaction?
It probably is.
Is Seattle just good? I mean, that's the debate. I talked about this on the video today because I was like, this
Seattle
is
won
a legit question. Because, I mean, think about this.
3-2.
The last few matches, Dallas, they lost to FaZe in the grand final.
Mm-hmm.
But then they 3-0'd New York.
Yep.
They got 3-0'd by FaZe.
Mm-hmm.
But then, they beat Optic 3-2.
Mm-hmm.
Like, at this point, that's our biggest complaint is that they lost to FaZe 5-2. And, I mean, everyone's losing to FaZe. FaZe set the record for the most wins in a row. I mean, they won 10 in a row. I don't know. I'm a little bit higher on Dallas still. I'm going 3-1 Dallas. I do think Paris will take a map, though. I mean, at this point, Dallas is definitely not bulletproof.
Yeah, I was playing the hype a little bit. I don't think this is going to be a Paris victory. And we did see a tweet, too, from Krim. If you remember, he tweeted at Clay. He said, hey, how do you get so hyped for these games? Like,
for the league matches.
He needs something on the line. So
that is tough.
It's weird, though. Yeah. It's weird because they were up 2-0. Like, they really, theoretically, like, if you would have thought that they, like, went in.
Right, maybe they came in hot.
They came in hot.
We got this. Now we're good. And it's control.
And they're like,
they're
okay,
0-9.
Seattle was 0-7. So, yeah, I think this was just kind of a weird. So, I am going to go Dallas 3-1 here.
I mean, and they played it. Yeah, they ended up clutching up in the S&Ds at the end of the day anyway. Like, the worst thing that happened is that they beat Seattle 3-2 is the worst thing that's happened to Dallas at this point. I think they're fine. People are overreacting like, they suck. They're not even a top. Like I've seen some people say they're not even a top 5 team.
Yeah. This is kind of like stage 1 where Dallas loses to Rokkr, right? And everyone kind of freaked out a little bit. Like,
yeah.
Was Rokkr just that good? Was Dallas, not as good?
And I think part of the public opinion now is like people are parlaying, well, they lost to the Rokkr, and now the Rokkr sucks. So it's like, now Dallas sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, that feels like a little bit of a stretch right now from the CoD that we've seen them play. If you think Optic is a decent team, they just beat Optic, literally a week ago. So, well, it's been a little bit now, and there's a new meta. So I could see people, I can understand it. I can get it, but I'm going to put faith in Dallas. 3-1 Paris. Sam?
Yeah.
3-1?
Did you just say 3-1 Paris?
Oh, 3-1 Dallas. My bad.
3-1 Dallas for me. I would have been like, let's go.
I'm wearing the Paris hoodie, but I'm not that hyped about that one right now. But yeah, no, for sure. Rex?
I mean, this will be the matchup that tells us what we need to know about Dallas, in my opinion. But I'm going to go Dallas 3-2.
Okay. I mean, that feels fair. I don't blame you for that one. So that makes sense. All right. Rokkr v Optic, very fun. Standy's debut against Optic, not easy. Yeah. A little bit tougher. And this is interesting. This is very interesting. What's your initial thoughts here, Sam?
My initial thoughts is it's too early.
I mean, right.
It's too early. So
it'd be hard to pick Rokkr.
Yeah. And like that, it wouldn't really be saying anything like against Standy if they like really don't do well, because again, this is like, gotta remember, like, even if Standy's like this outstanding player, teamwork has so much to do
3
with it
days
too.
Practice.
Exactly. So for that reason, I'm going to say Chicago 3-0.
That's fair.
I think it's a hot 3-0, but not to say that this team doesn't get better. I just think right now it's just too early for this team to like go to where they can be.
I don't think 3-1's unrealistic. I mean, S&D that could go Optic's way. I mean, Rokkr's way.
Rokkr's
S&D.
way, yeah.
I don't think that's that crazy.
Just the hard points. I don't think those can shape up to where
That'd be pretty. I mean, that would be. This is a pretty. I mean, at least it's a fun like first matchup for Standy and Rokkr. I mean, if they take any map off Optic, they'll probably feel pretty good at that point. I'm gonna go 3-1. I'm gonna go 3-1.
Okay. Do you think S&D?
Yeah.
No.
Why not? You know.
No.
I'll go 3-1. Chicago. Rex, where you at?
I'm also going to do Chicago 3-1. I think Minnesota will win the first hard point.
What?
Ooh, oh, interesting.
I think Minnesota's going to come out with the fire, and Chicago's
comes
not
out
going to
slow.
be ready. Yeah.
I guess that would be on brand for Optic.
It would be very on brand for Optics. That's fair. That's fair. Now we got the another juicy matchup right here.
I love this matchup.
London. I'm hyped. Like I'm actually hyped for this matchup.
This is gonna be great.
This is the one. Actually, this is the matchup I am most hyped for on the whole weekend. I think.
Mm-hmm.
London v LA Thieves. Paul v Venom.
Yeah.
I mean the Ravens 3-0'd LAG.
They did,
and they looked dang good. I mean, we haven't talked about like the. Let's spend a second talking about the new meta.
Yeah.
QBZ.
Yes.
Apocalypse. Express.
Yeah.
There was some like I feel like a little bit of flukiness with Express S&D, and teams are still trying to figure it out. Where we saw some like crazy rounds where it's like, what is happening?
It was weird.
So there was like some weird strats. I think it'll look a lot more clean this week with teams reviewing VODs and how to play. Thoughts on the meta as a whole? QBZ didn't.
Yeah, QBZ. I honestly feel like it's literally just the XM4.
It's disgusting.
It is the exact same thing.
It feels like the exact same.
I mean,
right?
So like there isn't much change there for me. Whatever. I hope they don't GA it.
It might, dude. It might.
It might. Apocalypse played well.
Dude, I like Apocalypse.
It's fun.
So do I. I like watching it too.
And I think as teams figure it out, like we just saw some really dumb things, like when Octon got that 3-piece, when literally they all came out at the exact same time, lined up. Like, come on, which is to be expected with a new game or a new map. So yeah, I'm excited for that. I enjoyed watching it. Otherwise, Express S&D, that was fun to watch. I mean,
it was great.
That was great to watch. So I am excited for this meta. I am just very curious though about the QBC, if it gets GA'd or not, because
it didn't really change too much. I don't think. I mean, maybe a little, but I think the QBC is still nasty.
I think it's the same.
Yeah, XM4 was better. I still think.
Does it affect teams in any way? Because we probably overestimated how much it was going to affect certain teams.
I thought it was going to kill some teams, but no.
But I just underestimated the QBZ because I didn't think it was going to be good or even usable.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it does play slightly different with the QBZ, but
for sure.
Oh well, I'm still okay with it.
Alrighty.
Yeah,
Alrighty. Okay, so with that said,
but
London v LA Thieves. Thoughts on this London squad? I mean, Paulehx, really, really impressive stuff for that squad. And basically two new players in the starting lineup.
Yeah.
And they looked awesome.
They looked really
Do
good.
you want to talk drama here?
I mean, sure. Shoot away.
Let's talk about the Optic pre-show, right?
Yeah.
If you guys haven't watched it, like go to the part where they're going through predictions and they get to the London versus whatever team it was.
LAG.
Oh yeah, I guess London versus LAG. And General, who's in the AM scene,
who's played a lot against him,
pretty much called out Paulehx for being a cheater.
He said it without saying it, right?
He said check the MOS files at one point, which is like MOS files is where I guess what the hacking files are, and then he went back on it because I don't think he wanted to say it like that, but it was blatantly obvious. Hex basically said it for him, like go say it, man, just say it. But General didn't say it, but you got to watch it and you'll know what I mean. It's very obvious he thinks Paul's a cheater. Crim6 already called Paul's a cheater.
Yeah, that was that is interesting that, Crim was real sus of Paul originally. That was back in December? Or late December, early January? That was a while ago, but I don't know. It is. Personally, I don't think he's cheating, but, they did 3-0 him. It was a pretty impressive series, so who knows? I don't know. I hate throwing around any type of accusation this early into some guy's career. Like that would suck. So
I mean, it happened to Awakening too.
It happened to Awakening too. Yeah. So
yeah.
And I don't think Awakening is, and like I kind of like was like whatever.
He's just insanely good.
But
yeah.
if something ever comes out in the pro league that someone was cheating, if someone plays drastically worse on LAN than they were playing online, that's going to be extremely sus, and we will see that happen this year.
Yeah. True.
If we will see LAN, I should say.
Yeah. So let's say the London Royal Ravens 3-0 LA Thieves. Where's your sus meter go to here?
Well, here's the thing. If Paul was cheating, Venom probably knows Paul was cheating. What does this mean for Venom?
True, dude.
So if Venom knows this information, what does he do with it? Right? Either Venom's also going to cheat, or Venom is going to be real friendly with Paul, not say anything if they lose, or if they lose, he's gonna totally bombard him, be like, "You are cheating."
There's just no chance. There's just way too much going on there.
Yeah, no way. But
I don't think anyone's cheating. Just from what I saw from Paul, I didn't get the vibe that he was cheating. But
no, definitely not.
Either way, I'm going LA Thieves 3-2 though.
This is gonna be a fun series, man. I definitely lean LA Thieves.
You
Sam?
Really? I'm leaning London.
Ooh.
I think using the same logic I used, London, I mean, to be fair, London's team change was a little bit prior to LA Thieves, so it's like they had a little more practice.
I mean, yeah.
It's very, very minuscule. I don't know. For the record, I think Paulehx is legit. So I really like this London squad. I don't know. I think their hype is through the roof. I think LA Thieves is a little bit, vibes are a little weird. However, I think the moves that London made help improve London like way more than Thieves.
Yeah.
Like the improvement meter. I think London's improvement is going to be through the roof.
Well, yeah,
I don't know.
But Thieves is already a top 5 team. It's hard to improve upon that.
Mm-hmm.
London's are at the bottom. Of course London's gonna improve.
But it's like 3-0 LAG. I mean, that's like saying something. Like,
oh yeah, LAG's been playing well.
Been playing really well. So I don't know. I'm a little bit higher on the London squad, so I'm gonna go 3-2 London.
And it's interesting. That is really, really interesting. I'm very torn. I mean, Zed played great. He played so well. I was insanely impressed with Zed.
Me too.
And actually. That was, just truly, really impressive. Again, it's a new map, and he dominated on Apocalypse. He was awesome, and so was Paul. And so it's just so it's just really, really interesting. I do agree with you. It is fun. Maybe the extra week of a little bit more time is worthwhile.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go London 3-2.
Okay.
I'll go London 3-2.
I brought him on my side.
Yeah, I don't love it. Agreeing with Sam, it's always a danger. Obviously, I should have done that more last week.
Should have.
It's a shame. It truly is.
Why London? Why? Like, what is it that's telling you London over Thieves, though?
To be fair, the last time the Thieves played LAG, they got 3-0'd. And then London plays LAG and 3-0's LAG. But it just kind of depends on what you believe about Venom.
And you have 2 role changes here.
It was their first match, of course. Like I don't know.
You have TJ going to Flex, and then you have a new sub coming in. Like, there's a lot to figure out there. Like,
with Kenny playing, main SMG again.
And then you have London coming in with their roles are solid. They already know their roles. So like, to me, it just seems like Thieves have a lot more to figure out. And I think in the long term, the upside for LA Thieves is legit. Like, for
top
sure,
4 legit.
Yeah.
If this works out for them, which it definitely could.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is right now, week 1, I'll probably take London.
Yeah.
That's kind of
just based on team chemistry. Are you like, if you go one-on-one, Shawnee v Slasher,
strategy,
who are you picking?
Roles,
like how they played. What we saw just based off of recent play again with LAG, the last results from both of these teams playing them.
Yeah.
I think it's just 3-2.
TJ v
London.
Paul. Who do you think's winning?
Paul.
What?
Is this
Slasher
a bet on
Shawnee.
the making? Rex, want to throw down a little profile bet here?
I'm not gonna throw
Part
down a bet.
2.
Like, I'm not like super hard stuck. I could see a London win, but
Yeah.
I think it's weird that you guys are real confident in that London one.
I mean, I'm not. We're going 3-2.
No,
We're
yeah.
not that confident. It just comes down to that. So, all right. Speaking of LAG, New York up next. LAG v New York. It is worrying, where LAG is going down 3-0 to a new roster of London.
New Yorkers coming off hype of a
Reverse sweep against LA Thieves, forcing the roster change. Rex, thoughts? Fire away.
LAG is a very technical team who I think they know how to play correct COD, but sometimes the gunfights don't work out. Sometimes it's a little too slow that New York can overwhelm that. New York at times can be a little hectic, too hectic that LAG could pounce on that really hard. But we have been seeing improvement in New York in that regard. New York's S&D I think has to improve because Clay is not gonna go God mode every single S&D. Like he's gonna need some help.
Yeah, the S&D is still
LAG
an
is
issue,
gonna be a
for
problem in S&D possibly in that regard. Like they
if
might be
London.
the hard counter with them. But I will go New York 3-1.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go. I'm gonna say LAG bounces back, plays a little bit better. I mean, a lot better than they did against London.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna go 3-2 New York. This feels like the type of game where New York keeps it close. Like it just feels like the type of game where LAG keeps it close. I'm gonna go like New York 3-2, based off a lot of those same reasons for why New York ends up winning. And I mean, LAG really needs this win. I mean, talk about standings wise, they really need it.
Oh, absolutely.
It's going to be tough for them. So,
oh gosh, yeah. I mean, this is going to be a good game, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
It's
a
a
fun
matter
one.
of who do you have more confidence in?
You got to have more confidence in New York.
I feel like, yeah.
You have to.
I think it's going to be a 3-1 New York.
Yeah, that
You
feels about
never
right.
underestimate New York.
Yeah. Now, another really interesting one. Now,
That's
another test of
London now.
wits
Yeah,
here.
this could be,
London v. New York. Do I bet against New York again? Do I just double down?
you should.
Rex?
That'd be funny.
I'm taking New York.
You
on
would,
this
of course, take that bet. Yeah. All right, Sam, lead the way. New York v. London here in the next one. Thoughts?
So.
Why do they do this, by the way? Why do they do every team, whoever one of the two teams that plays on Friday night plays the first match on Saturday every single time?
It is weird.
Why?
Very strange.
Because that was Paris last week. It was somewhere the week before. I can't remember. But yeah, it's weird. All
Yeah,
right.
so like you're looking at matchups here. Yeah, Clay v. Shawnee. You have Paul versus Diamondcon. And then you got your two SMGs.
I mean, you have to have more faith in New York, obviously.
Yeah.
But like, this is all about what do you believe about this London team?
I know.
It's the hype. It really is.
Like if I have London beating LA Thieves barely 3, and then New York beats LA Thieves.
No, I mean, yeah, reasonably, I can't in my heart of hearts take London. There's no way.
No,
but it'd be kind of fun. I kind of want this London thing to work. It's a fun experiment with Paul. I'm really about it. But.
This is a New York 3-2.
Oh wow. Okay, you're going close.
I'm going close.
The thing is, I kind of feel like London would win the S&Ds. That's why I
think
can't
so?
go 3-2. Yeah.
What if Clay goes God mode again though?
Well, then, yeah, of course they win. But like, that's not something you cannot count on God modes when you're playing. You look at Awakening on Mutineers. He goes God mode a lot, and they still can't win.
Yeah, no, I'm going New York 3-1. Yeah, I think
I'm going New York 3-1 also.
It's ironic that I just chose. I think people might be annoyed that I just chose New York beat LAG and New York beat them 3-2, but then London just beat LAG 3-0. I'm taking New York 3-1.
Yeah,
they're like, what in the world, bro? Like. It's more about just
it's COD.
It's
man.
more about the matchups and how it's just this is how it goes. It's like this is what would happen with New York. It's just so on brand for both of these teams.
Each
I know
team
this
is
is
unique.
flimsy. This is flimsy analysis right here. But specifically, I think realistically, inside of the S&Ds, LAG, the technical aspects of the play styles, it does play towards New York's weaknesses versus London, who I think right now still wants that chaos around the map. And New York does too. And that's just the strengths and weaknesses. Comes down to it 3-1. I'll take New York. So it's that narrative. But all right, there it is. LATV Atlanta. Oh, what are you going to say?
New York is in a really good position right now. Like the fact that they beat LA Thieves, who was like supposedly going to be like their hardest contender from here on. Like played FaZe, played Thieves. Now this is supposed to be the easy part. So they beat the LA Thieves, which they had to do, and they did. And now it's like, okay, this is supposed to be easier. Now, how does that affect the mindset going into these? Is the gas going to be let up on the pedal a little bit? That happens to New York. That's a really big problem that could ruin things forever. You cannot this is the time when they cannot let the gas up. You cannot let it up.
I think Clay understands that though. I think he does.
I think he does too.
And if he can convey that message to the rest of the team, that's where it'll come through.
But these are the easy matches now. Once
right now,
worm sneaks in,
for sure. Right now, New York is truly in that spot where the Rokkr were last year. They're contenders. They're dangerous with every good team, but they're not separated from all of the bad teams yet.
Exactly.
And then Rokkr could never just get over that hump. It could never figure it out. And so, can New York figure it out? I think they have a better chance than Rokkr did last year too. But that is the debate. So it is fun. All right. LA Thieves v Atlanta. Thoughts?
3-0.
Wow.
FaZe, man.
I mean, FaZe has been so
They've been
good.
so good.
I feel like I want to have a little bit more faith that FaZe will up the gas a little bit here. And
I just don't think they will
close the gap, but I don't know. I don't think I can shoot anything besides FaZe 3-0 right now.
Yeah.
I agree. It's insane. And Atlanta, when you watch them, it is insanely good CoD after insanely good CoD. I mean, New York beat them on Express. I did the first map of the whole weekend. Like they beat them on one S&D. It was the first time any pro team has seen Express in a match. It's like, okay, and they beat him round 11. and Atlanta had the bomb down literally on A bomb round 10 to put it away 6-4. It felt a little fluky for the S&D win, but besides that, I agree. I mean, Atlanta at this point, it's like, how do you pick against them?
I mean, the fact when you have both SMGs just able...
They're 10-0.
...to completely take over.
In all 3 game modes.
It's ridiculous.
I mean, Simp and Abizi have been unbelievable in all 3 game modes. It's insane.
Yeah.
It's insane. And especially in S&D. I mean, both of them have made legit game-changing plays over and over and over. I mean,
FaZe is nasty.
It's unfair right now, and it doesn't even feel like they can play better.
Exactly. The fact that we think the people are down on Arcities tells you a lot about how well Atlanta is doing.
It's insane.
This is Arcities. You understand? He was on Optic, and he was the good player on Optic.
He was the most consistent player for Optic all year.
Yeah. And now he goes to FaZe, and he's quote unquote the worst on FaZe, and you're like, it's pretty good position to be in if Arcities is your worst player.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh yeah. It's wild.
Ridiculous.
It's wild. It doesn't. And like I said, it feels like they could play better Hardpoint and S&D at times. There's still a lot that they can improve on.
They still just break things. That's all they do.
And that's the thing is that they have the ability to break down. This is what we've seen this is FaZe all of last year too. They can play bad CoD and still win because they're so good individually.
Yeah.
And it works for them. And there's moments where in S&D where it's not very coordinated and it shouldn't work and it does. And you're like, that is insane. And the question mark is, can they keep it up season long? And it's they did last year, So just crazy. Yeah. But all right. Anyway, it'll be fun. I would love to see Thieves take a map or 2, but we'll see. All right, we got 4 matchups left here. LAG versus Toronto. Insight, back at it again. We haven't talked about Insight yet. The debut was pretty crazy overall as a whole, obviously in his first against LA Thieves. Yeah. Dropped a 18 bomb in S&D.
Ridiculous.
Insane. FaZe put out a little bit of those flames.
Yeah.
After the first year, it was everyone worship Insight. Yeah. He's the best player of all time. But then Atlanta was like, all right, let's calm down a little bit here. Hot 3-0.
Yeah.
But thoughts on Insight and Toronto? Are they better than they were before?
I don't know.
That's what's weird. Insight, I think so.
He drops that bomb, but
he shoots straight though.
I think they're in the same position.
I mean, it feels like he does have more upside than Methods. I mean, well, to be fair, Methods has never done that. 18 kills. I mean, even though a lot of his kills were kind of I don't want to say fluky, but they were in 1v3s.
Yeah.
Where he just kind of got free kills. Teams were seeing what he's got in him.
Yeah.
I don't know. Rex, thoughts on Insight and Toronto before we talk about the matchup as a whole?
Guys, I'm about to go down a real big rabbit hole here.
Fire away.
And I'm really fighting with myself.
Oh, you got the screen all to yourself.
why is it all of a sudden these teams pick up a guy from the EM scene,
Oh,
and
no.
all of a sudden they've turned into these god teams or god players, but then it's like, but then they get so smashed by FaZe, but then they totally smashed, like, who'd they smash?
Who?
Toronto? They beat they lost 3-2 to LA Thieves.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Rant over.
Resume.
Oh. Okay, all right.
I'm
we're
wrong.
back. In your head, did they pull that? Did they pull the London?
And
and
I'm like,
3-0?
how many of these AMs are cheating?
Oh, jeez.
That's where my head was going, because I'm like, it's hard to make predictions now.
We're about to get flamed, dude.
But I mean, Insight, like I said, there were moments where it's like, wow, that gun skill is insane. Like, there were definitely moments like that. But then you're like, okay, he's human. Like, he looked bad against FaZe for a lot of those games.
Well, of course you turn off the hacks for FaZe. If you do destroy FaZe, then you look like a hacker. That's where I was going with that, but I don't think that's the case, especially since they lost to the Thieves.
No,
like,
yeah. And like in those moments, like Insight, even in that LA Thieves series, he struggled in that first hard point. He like there was moments where he struggled. Like it wasn't like he was Iron Man, you know.
Right.
Through those. Okay, LAG versus Toronto. I feel like right now Toronto is definitely slightly better, at least the slightest better. But like in the long term, they maybe have a little bit more upside. But they're still struggling inside respawn. So it's like I don't know, man. I don't know. And they went 3-2 against a good team, and this is against LAG though. This is very winnable. So Rex, take us away with the prediction here. Where are you at?
These are matches both teams really are going to need to win. LAG,
this is desperate wins.
I
for
think,
both
especially
teams.
for LAG, it's going to be a really desperate mode for them. And Toronto. Like, Toronto needs to prove something here. Like, this was the right choice because everyone is against the methods drop. All pros, everyone's talking about how
Insight helped
choice
shift that a little bit at least.
Yeah.
Kind of, but people are really still talking down about it. But I mean, I'm gonna go with the tried and true LAG, 3-2.
Yeah,
Tough call for me though. Tough call.
It's a really tough call. This could go either way. I'm gonna go LAG 3-2 as well.
Yeah.
Actually,
Gonna precede my prediction with a tweet. Snakebite, professional Halo player, had a great tweet that I 100% agree with. He tweeted out, Insight is nasty and proved why he was picked up. But he also proved why benching methods wasn't going to fix the problem.
Yeah, that's fair.
I agree with that. I think Toronto has a bigger problem than fixing
I'm just not sold on
methods.
LAG. It's really more of a thing that I'm not sold on LAG right now either. I mean, both of these guys feel like bottom 14.
LAG?
I thought you picked LAG.
You
to
said
win that
you
one.
picked LAG, but then you wrote Toronto.
Yeah, that's why I said I don't know.
Okay. Well, I've got LAG winning 3-2, just simply because I don't know. I think
I'm going Toronto 3-1.
Wow.
Just because I feel like if it goes 3-2, LAG wins. I think this clutches up in the end. But it's really close. This is the closest matchup. The closest 50-50 of all of them in my head. I'm going to go Toronto 3-1, but not like a dominant 3-1 by any means. This is like should be 3-2 type game.
I'll say this. I don't like it when teams who pick up a new player come in and they start just complete turnaround. Because it kind of destroys how, like, it's like, I want teams that have, like, you want people who are sticking together to keep winning, right?
Right. It's
and
better if
kind of
LAG
like the
wins.
methodology that we kind of, I subscribe to, and if Toronto comes out and just, like, does that, it's like, well, what? Like, so, like, is it just go pick up a new AM player and you do better? Like,
yeah. We'll see. I think it might turn into that eventually. There's so many talented players still out there, and with only 12 teams in the CDL, maybe that'll change if we have 16 next year. But I mean, I think right now, if you're a team struggling, you should pick up a 2-week contract right now. That's at least my opinion. Like, if you're LAG, if you lose this matchup 3-1, and if you lost to New York, if you're LAG now, you're 0-3 now.
Mm-hmm.
You should pick a 2-week contract up, and maybe even right now in between weeks do it. That's at least kind of where I'm at with it right now. Is like it's worth it to try. Yeah. Even if it doesn't work. But all right, let's keep moving. We're already pretty far into this. 3 matchups left. Seattle versus Paris.
Another.
This is all true. This is really tough. Mm-hmm. Man, I'll be honest. I think I'm bought in.
Are you bought in?
It's tough because I feel like the second I'm bought in, they're gonna just stab me in the back.
Oh yeah.
I don't have trust, so I guess I'm not bought in. Because if I was bought in, I would be confident here.
Yeah.
I'm definitely not confident. I'm gonna go Seattle 3-2.
I think this is a Paris 3-1.
Really?
I am going Paris 3-1 as well.
Yeah.
Ooh, I love disagreeing. That means I know I'm right.
Yeah.
I feel good about my Paris pick on that one. I'm not sold on Seattle.
Paris, here's the thing. Paris has shown consistency. Seattle has not. So that's pretty
And Paris has got the fire in the tank.
Don't let me down now. Double or nothing, Sam. Double or nothing. Seattle v Paris right now.
Okay.
Give me it. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I am confident in this Paris squad.
Let's go. Okay.
They haven't let me down yet.
Yeah. That's fair. I mean, again, this is like a 55-45 Seattle Paris pick here.
Mm-hmm.
But I really liked what I saw from Seattle last weekend, and I'll go in on them again this week, I guess. So here we are. Minnesota versus Dallas.
The rematch.
I'm going Dallas 3-0.
3-0.
Wow.
I'm going to give Dallas some heat back.
I'm going to give.
Yeah.
Sorry, I completely cut you off there, Shady. I am so sorry. But my prediction is 3-1 Dallas.
Okay. Yeah, I'm leaning more Dallas. It could be a 3-0.
Could be.
But Dallas hasn't been good at putting teams away this year.
It is weird. They seem like the team that will play down.
They haven't been dominant.
No.
And so I'm going to go with Dallas 3-1. Even though I'm very, very confident they'll win this series. I'm very confident. I would put money on this one for sure. But yeah, I'll go Dallas 3-1. It just comes down to just an overall confidence game mode to game mode. I mean, at this point, it's like, where do you take Minnesota? S&D, maybe, but it's like Dallas has been playing pretty good in S&Ds, clutching up against Seattle too. And Seattle's been good in S&Ds. So last matchup, speaking of Seattle versus Chicago. Another interesting one based off what you believe about Seattle and how this could play out map-wise. I'd imagine we're all leaning Chicago here.
Yeah.
3-1 feels about right.
3-1 feels right.
Yeah. I'm going Chicago 3-0.
Oh, really?
You were hot to 3-0s, brother.
Man, yeah, you've got quite a few. I guess just recently. You have 3 3-0s.
Yeah. Nice.
Dang, really? Why, Rex? Why the 3-0? What's the thought
You guys
process
are
there?
way more sold about Seattle after that than I am. Like, we saw it once, and then we're playing, and we're seeing against the Chicago team who, it's Optic Chicago we're talking about, and they have a very good respawn. I think their S&D is significantly improving.
Seattle could win an S&D, though.
They could. It could end up being a 3-1.
I mean, they ain't winning control. We all know. I mean, even though Seattle took a control of Dallas, and Dallas has been a decent control team.
Not Chicago.
Yeah,
and that's what I'm saying. Like, Chicago's going to win that second map S&D, and then from there, it's over.
Using logic, though, what do you believe about Dallas? And then Dallas going 3-2 with Seattle. Dallas has beaten Optic.
I think Dallas is looking weaker. Like, I think Dallas is looking weaker. It also depends on who they're playing against with Dallas as well. There's weird mental things happening there. But Chicago with this one, it just seems right to be a 3-0.
Interesting. I'm going to go Chicago 3-1. I think Seattle can take a map for sure. So it could be a 3-0. I could see that. It comes down to those two things, though. I mean, when it comes to Seattle specifically, I really think that they're a really competitive hardpoint team. I think they're a very competitive S&D team, and we saw that with them beating Dallas, in both those game modes. The question is like, I mean, they didn't beat them in S&D. They lost round 11 both times.
Yes.
On Checkmate and on Express. And that was just and it came down to the insane Illy play, the 3v1 from Illy. Shout out Illy, by the way, Rex. And just crazy.
My guy.
So, yeah, absolutely insane. I mean, if he doesn't do that, they probably lose that map, which is crazy. And then maybe they lose the series? I don't know. But again, that might just be because Dallas was confident after being up 2-0. Anyway, long story short. Any other final thoughts there with any of these teams who kind of flew through those last 4 matchups? I guess for me, Toronto's the interesting one.
Toronto for sure.
I disagree with you guys there. I have Toronto winning that one. I have the bet on Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely gets interesting. Rex, do you want to do the Toronto v LAG? Do you want to do the Toronto v LAG profile picture bet again? Round 2? Or are you just
Toronto versus LAG.
Are you confident with your?
I'm taking a break on bets this week.
Oh, you little man. Sad, trying to bask in his glory. Jeez, unreal.
Not willing.
Unreal. But all right, that's pretty good for now. Is there any other things? I guess obviously we're gonna do our, the most important segment of the week.
Oh, absolutely.
But real quickly, player wise, I want to have a quick player debate here.
Yeah.
I want a heat check on Illy right here, Rex. A heat check on Illy season long.
Interesting.
At this point, we're now a major in. We saw him play against Seattle. Wasn't great against Seattle. So far, still a struggle in S&D for Illy. We only saw one match last week. Dallas did only play one match. So it is a little bit, a little bit of a heat check on Illy. Rex.
Illy is a phenomenal player, but I feel like what Clay was providing to that Empire team was that fire and passion.
And the
that
structure?
Illy can live off of. I think the structure is there for Empire. What they're missing is the emotions of it. And I think Illy really thrived in that emotionally structured environment, which I think a lot of players would. But it seems like something that Illy needs more of.
Yeah.
He's much more of an independent player as opposed
to
with that team. Yeah, whereas opposed with that team, Clayster was really providing that sort of more camaraderie, I feel like.
Dallas's S&D is interesting. I mean, Shotzi's still a little iffy. I mean, we talked about that last week as well, so it is interesting. I mean, I still think Illy can bounce back and respawns this year. I definitely think so. But it might just take a lot longer than we originally thought it was going to take. And it might be Dallas still feels like they're going to be a second half team. And they're going to be, I feel like, I'm very confident that by the end of the year, Dallas is going to be.
I think so too.
Right there again.
Yeah.
I think they could be too. But
yeah.
Illy, I think he can still get there.
For sure.
But they need some sort of kick to just really give them that pep. I really what all Dallas needs.
I know. Yeah, it is really weird. So, all right. With that said, I think we can get in to intelligent or irrelevant. We all know what the people are. They dumb as hell.
The ability to speak does not make you intelligent.
I didn't mean it, guys. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. You guys are all intelligently and beautiful. Just absolutely the smartest people I've ever met in my life. And every time we talk on stream, I'm blown away by your wisdom.
Nice.
So today's question was a really fun one, and we're going to have a Rookie of the Year discussion right here. So what was the question, Sam?
Okay, who is going to have the best season this year?
You have not yet looked at it?
Nope.
Perfect. So who are the four options?
Insight, Paulehx, Standy, Venom.
The four newcomers, besides the three other rookies as well.
Yeah.
So out of those four, the new four rookies, who do you guys think the people chose is going to have the best season this year? I think the people chose Standy. That's my initial reaction.
Do you think so?
I think.
I'm wondering if people are going to go crazy on
Insight?
On Insight with his S&D performance.
That's possible. How many votes does it have?
218.
Whoa.
Yeah. There's a lot of votes.
I retweeted it.
Did you?
Yeah.
So what? It was Standy, Venom, Paul, and
Insight.
Insight. Yeah. I'm going to go with Standy as the vote, but it could be Insight. It's definitely the top two. From the people's perspective.
I think people chose Insight.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to put my vote on Venom because I think there's no way he's going to be close. I think. No way.
What?
Paul?
Venom 35%.
Really?
Wins.
Wow.
It's literally wow. This shocks me. Venom 35%, Standy 28%, Paulehx 22%.
No way.
Insight 15%.
Interesting. So is this must be also somewhat of a bet on the teams as well?
I think so too.
For sure.
Yeah.
Because how was the phrasing of the word? What was the wording?
I said, who is going to have the best season this year?
Interesting. And that was on an individual basis. Yeah. That is really interesting. Wow. People are high on Venom.
People could be thinking teams with that one too. You look better if you're on a better team too.
For sure. But that is interesting. So, okay. Were there any interesting comments that talked about Venom?
Yes. So one on Venom is...
Who said it?
Texas Formal.
Oh, my word. You keep snagging Texas Formals, bro. Come on, man.
So he said, They're all so nasty. Paul is the best spot to stand out, but Venom is in the best spot to win. Standy could make that team click, and Insight has already looked like he belongs. Add Fire, Diamond, and Neptune in the class of 21.
A very nice comment there. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Next comment, Ryan, CDL podcast. Very clean hat, by the way.
Oh,
wow.
Very nice.
I feel like they're all going to be solid. However, I feel like Venom is in the best position to succeed, so we'll view him as the best. London and Toronto seem like they'll be struggling, and Minnesota is middle of the pack. If Venom is nasty, LA Thieves could have winning potential.
Interesting. Okay, so there is quite a bit of team influence
I think
here.
so. So that way, that's...
But to be fair, if you're like looking like a rookie of the year type perspective, you know, I could see that. So with that said, I want to hear a quick little discussion here on the rookie of the year conversation. We have 7 rookies now.
Yeah.
7.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So we have obviously Diamondcon. We have Neptune. We have Paulehx.
We have Standy. We have Venom. We have Insight. What?
I don't know why that was like so funny to me. And and we have Fire.
And Fire
as well. Yes. So which guy to you, season long now, has the best chance to be rookie of the year? Right now, is Diamondcon the leader, I would imagine?
You would think Diamondcon, just with like
right now
how they've rebounded.
Yeah.
Diamond or Fire.
Yeah, Neptune's been he came out firing hot, but flamins.
And the thing too is like you would assume rookie of the year is going to be like going to have to be on like one of the top 4
teams. Yeah.
So it's like even if like say like you bring London out of the pits, but like you still are only like a top 8 team.
Yeah, I mean, but again, that's part of the conversation. But like, I think maybe it just happened that Shotzi was the rookie of the year last year. He just happened to be literally on the best team.
Yeah.
I think you could win rookie of the year without being on the best or like the top 2, maybe 3 teams.
I want to say so too. Like that's what.
Like
that's
I think Paulehx could win rookie of the year still.
Absolutely.
And off to a great start after one map.
Yeah. So
or after one series, I mean. So
yeah.
I would say let's give them let's order them by most likely top 3.
Yeah.
I would go number 1. I would still say Diamondcon. Number 2, I'm going Standy, and I'll say number 3 Venom.
Okay.
As most likely for rookie of the year by the end of the year.
Yeah.
Sam?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Diamondcon as well. Number 1. Number 2. I want to say Venom because I feel like he could potentially just be disgusting.
Yeah, and the team has definitely ton of
the
potential.
team for sure. And then 3, Standy is just such a good option. But then it's like
Paul's interesting.
Paul's super interesting though too.
Are we underrating Fire? I mean, Fire's interesting too.
I know it's hard. I'm gonna go Paulehx. I feel like there's a
really interesting. Okay.
I feel like there's a world where London just improves so much that it's gonna be put on Paulehx.
Really good after one map. So
yeah.
All right, Rex.
Paulehx and Zed. I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go with Diamond number 1.
Okay, consensus. Wow. All right.
It's hard for me to know. Like,
are we underrating Neptune? Are we
no
doubting what he can be?
Neptune has a big turnaround, but from what we've seen, Neptune has not been rookie of the year.
He's been
to
good.
be fair, Shotzi by March after 2 months wasn't that either.
Yeah.
So there's still tons of time.
Exactly. I mean, yeah, it could turn around, but right now, it's not.
As of right now.
I mean, and then I guess
yeah, you have to project that, which is tough.
Ones.
It's risky.
Yeah.
Insight, are we? I mean, it was a definitely an impressive debut. What do you believe about what do you believe about Toronto? Bance, I mean, that's always been our question mark, obviously, but it is really, I mean, there is some really fun ones. So Rex, okay, Diamondcon, who's 2? Fire it away.
Diamond, Fire, Venom.
Wow. Okay.
Nice.
Dang. I'll say that people were that was intelligent enough, you know. They made it.
I was impressed.
For sure.
Honestly.
100%. But all right, what are you guys watching this week before we ended up? I watched Captain Falcon and Winter Soldier. That was dope.
Yeah.
I'm down. I'm excited to see what happens with the future of that. Looking forward to that. Sam?
My goal was to watch that.
Haven't got to it yet.
I haven't got to it yet.
Okay.
So
it was dope.
Yeah.
Cool first episode. Rex?
I finished Game of Thrones.
Oh yes.
Oh man, I have so many words to say about the last episode. I won't speak them here.
Oh really?
Yeah. But if you want to talk about it, we could talk about it. I want to talk about it because
Yeah.
I have my thoughts.
I thought this was gonna be like an hour-long discussion.
Yeah, we could be here for a while then. Yeah,
It
that's
would
probably
be a
safe
long
to save
discussion.
it. Sounds good. Well, we will definitely talk about that in the future, or at least we'll have to fire some. Maybe shady Saturdays. I'll have to talk about some.
That's
Game
all
of
I'll do is
Thrones.
get on, just start rambling.
Yeah,
after 2 minutes.
that's what's gonna
I'll
be.
cut
but-
it off, and then the next Saturday will be just me continuing it until I
That
get to
is-
an hour long.
Literally. But it's been a good episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Obviously, I will update my profile picture because of Shady Nero. And then we went double or nothing. A lot of food on next week's episode
Yes,
potentially. Or
potentially.
none.
Yeah.
Or none.
We'll see.
And it's going to be a fun one. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you guys did, like, comment, subscribe. Oh.
Welcome to your new profile picture.
We can't see
Salvation's
it. We
Elite.
can't see it. Click on it.
Click on it.
No, Sam has to click on it.
I do.
You have to go grab that mouse and click on it. Oh my goodness. Bottom right
That
corner.
didn't work out like I wanted it to, but
Yeah, right there. There you go. There it is.
welcome
All right, that's
to your
the
new
outro.
profile
That's
pic.
my new profile
Oh,
picture.
man, I'm wondering what's going to happen.
Fantastic. I'm like,
What's
what
going to happen?
Like, where did Rex go?
Wow, guys. All right, everyone. So follow Shady Nero. Yeah. Woohoo. Yes.
Oh my
Great. So that'll be up for 24 hours. Precisely 24 hours.
Yeah.
But if you guys enjoyed this episode, like, comment, subscribe, share the podcast. You guys really enjoyed it. Drop a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. But as always, guys, I'm your boy SalvationsElite. To my right is Bo3. And to our farthest right for you, you're going to see little baby Shady Rex in the corner of the screen there, dabbing away. And that's Rex Shady Hero. And guys, we will see you next time. We out.
We out.